So we're gonna go ahead and be talking about this whole passport bros coming back with the HIVs, okay, the HIV. So what I want to first off say in regards to this is please, 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 y'all, there are so many diseases. You have a lot of people because of this whole hookup culture who just think it's okay to just, you know what I mean? You don't need to know much about the person. You don't need to try to get to know the person before all that stuff is brought up. So now we're in a situation where we are okay, and then people are being left stinging, itching, and burning. Okay, and with some stuff that they cannot get rid of. So, with all that being said, please, okay, yes, we need to, those are my charts, or I feel like let's, on a day that we're both available, let's go and set up an appointment back to back where we get our papers so we could see whether or not, we go take the test and then we get the results. Okay, and we should have them at around the same time. We're going to look at the results and be like, okay, I'm clean, what about you? Okay, and we're going to look at it right then and there. All right, we're going to be doing that. Okay, and I just feel like that's just where we're at right now, because you have a lot of people that lie. Oh, well, I'm good, well, why you need to ask? Because I don't know you. I need to know what you got going on. Okay, I mean, if you have nothing to hide, then I mean, what are we talking about here? Okay, so that's really where I'm at with it. You have a lot of people who are just not wrapping it up. You have a lot of people who are just not being clean about certain things. And I mean, this can kill you. You know what I mean? You can infect the other person. I mean, heck, there was a story of it was this elderly couple, black man and black woman, and he ended up cheating on her, getting HIV, giving it to her. The doctors were saying that she had some kind of, some other kind of illness. And they're like, man, this thing is rapid. And then a day before she died, that's when the doctors went and told her, oh, you have HIV and it's very advanced. And then she died the next day. And the family's like, what the heck? This guy was over here on some bull. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that it's only men that can have it, but this video is going to be talking about passport bros. So, I mean, it's what it is. Click off if you don't like it. But I'm not saying that's only men. I'm not saying, the whole propaganda of, oh, it's only gay men that have, I mean, come on. Okay. No, you could have it. It's not only from anal. All right, you could get it from you being a man messing with a woman. Okay, the reason why it was so high in that regard was the fact that there was no protection at all being used. Okay, that's why you have that as the main talking point, but we all know that's not what it is. Okay, but with that being said, let's all wrap it up. Look at the papers. Okay, you just cannot afford. Is that 3 minutes really worth your life? Where now you got something you can't get rid of. 3 minutes, maybe 5 at the most. Is it really worth it? I would say no. So let's go ahead and take a look at said videos.
So I haven't seen the passport bros on the internet for a little while, and I was wondering where they went because they were so vocal about how American women ain't shit and how westernized women is just shitty and we don't know how to be submissive and we don't know. And I know that you guys were only talking about sexually, but y'all were like, we're going to go over to these other countries, especially Asian countries, and we're going to get submissive women because they know how to treat their men. Well, sir, it looks like you guys are bringing back a little bit more than just a submissive woman. You're bringing back HIV. You guys are bringing back HIV. It's actually a Passport Bros HIV hashtag. The numbers of the HIV population in these countries that you guys are going to is increasing. So where is all that shit y'all was talking? That makes sense why y'all so quiet. Y'all can't talk shit. Now you got HIV. You got a bad attitude, sir. You got HIV. Y'all talk about the body counts of American women and you went and fucked some foreign prostitutes, some foreign sex workers, because that's what they are. You just don't know that they're sex workers because you are in so much denial about women knowing how women work and why women know what women do. You think you know, and you didn't went over and got HIV. Get the fuck out of here, sir. Don't take your ass back over to the motherfucking countries where you got HIV. Y'all going to go get HIV, and then you're bringing it back over here to America. Y'all need to be deported. Any of these motherfuckers, all y'all, I feel like y'all are tyrants. All y'all are against America. Because how the fuck y'all go to another country to go get a non-American woman because you don't like American women. Then you go get HIV and come back to go fuck who? American women? Y'all don't know what the fuck. This is funny though. It's hilarious. I don't feel no empathy or no sympathy. Y'all dog out American women all fucking day long, and there's another reason now why American women are gonna want your nasty ass. You HIV positive from fucking a fucking sex worker from another country. Another country. And don't go to my son, well, there's medication you can. Sir, sir, sir. Go now. You want to go find you now. You want a American woman that's gonna be so understanding of your HIV status while you fucking hated American women. And the reason why you have an HIV status is because you hated us so much you wouldn't fuck a sex worker from another country, and now you got HIV, and now you want us to have empathy and sympathy for you and still love you.
Are infecting and being infected by those folk down there, primarily the sex workers, those women down there in the Dominican Republic. Now, I know a lot of y'all gonna come on here and say, well, we go down there and we trying to find the traditional wives. Well, here's the fact of the matter. How do you know who's traditional or not when you're not even from those regions? That's another topic for another day. Anyway, don't get mad at me. I'm just reporting the news. And according to the CDC, you passport bros are down there in the Dominican Republic moving real foul. You know, how do you fly across seas and smash these chicks? And the mommies with the cake. Y'all know what cake I'm talking about. And here's the thing.
Word.
Y'all smash.
No. Them motherfuckers is lined up to go participate. And you know what? I ain't gonna say too much on here. But all I'm gonna say is y'all was right. And I apologize. I have never seen nothing like this in my life. Child, they was walking the streets of Cartagena in packs, like a packs of wild dogs, looking for cats. I'm speechless. And it's all ages, from 17 up to 70, bitch. They out there hunting in packs, looking for cat. I was blown away. And as I'm listening to them, like as I'm in these lines and I'm listening, because I'm nosy, bitch, I want to listen. I'm listening to them talking about how they travel throughout Colombia and they go to these different cities and they don't like this city because of this and this city because of that. Y'all. I can't believe it. I cannot believe this. I didn't want this to be true, but it's true. Unfortunately, it's true. And one last thing before I go, they all had on these fake chains. You could tell they were so fake because they were so bright. They were supposed to be like silver or platinum, but they was just so fucking bright. They looked like fucking aluminum on their neck. And everybody had these fake diamond chains on. I said, I don't want to be here. That's what I got off the plane. I said, I can't be.
So I just seen that there have been reported that there's over, I think, 80,000 new cases of people contracting HIV in the Dominican Republic. That's alarming and that's scary, and that lets you know there's a lot of men out here that don't care and they will risk it all over some butt cheeks. And listen, bro, there's real live pimps out there, bro. Pimps, bro. I'm telling you, bro, this is another world, bro. Like, they selling booty like fruit out there, bro. This so accessible, bro. And that is not good. Anything that easily accessible is horrible, dog. Like the guy that I met in the bar, he had like 5 women with him. They were all beautiful women, but I already knew what was going on. And they were looking at me, and he gonna walk up to me, you like what you see? I'm like, what's up, bro? These your women? He like, yeah. He's like, you want something? I said, nah. He's like, all right, bet. And he was a Haitian dude. He was telling me like that's what he does. Like he has a stable of women. I'm like, all right, good for you. But it was too much for me. You could call me a square, but that was too much for me. It was too much ass on sale for me. It was everything was on clearance, and I didn't have it in me, bro. I was like, nah, I'm good on this. Don't get me wrong, DR is a fun place, beautiful place, but as far as that world, I'm good on it, bro. And the women are so aggressive. I was in the bar trying to get a shot. This woman just straddling me. I say, damn, wait, give me a second. Let me drink the shot. Damn. I done bought the shot. You straddling me. I can't even drink the shot. Relax. Relax. Like, god damn. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different world, man. But like I said, y'all should be ashamed of yourself going out there bringing back diseases, man. It ain't that deep, bro. Now, I'm going to tell you, I believe it. Because when I went to the DR, I was amazed at how easily accessible women were. And these are not women that are ugly. These are women that look like J-Lo. These are women that look like Selena. And these women will give it to you for much of nothing. Now, you got to understand, right? Let's take, for example, a guy that's living in Houston. He's struggling to get attention from women or whatever. He go out there. I mean, he can get whatever he wants. And they're going to treat him like a king and make him feel like he's the best looking dude on earth. When I would go places, you would have women following you. You would have women just grabbing you. You have women coming up to you. And for me, I didn't really like that because that let me know, okay, you getting ran through. Now, I'm not saying I'm an ugly guy or anything, but I'm not stupid. Women that look like that, they not just walking up to men like that, bro. They just not doing that. And these women were moving like that. I'm talking about they was thirsty. You know what I'm saying? There was one point I remember I was in the bar and this lady with a BBL started dancing on me. And I'm talking about she was aggressive. She throwing me back on the table. I have to try to get my footing right so I could bear the dance. She knocking my drink falling out. I'm like,
I don't know what y'all got going on in the Philippines, but according to the CDC, the Philippines has one of the highest HIV rates amongst their people than most of the world.
Passport bros. It's not surprising at all. It's not surprising at all that a lot of you guys are coming back.
Yo, the thing I don't like about the passport bro shit, it ain't organic, you feel me? Like, it ain't like you happen to be out the country and you met somebody and y'all just vibe. Like, you really flying out the country to go pick up a wife. That's crazy, bro. Like, y'all really be having indentured servants that y'all can fuck on. Y'all be flying out the country because women here want y'all to be providers. So you go out the country to get a woman that you gotta provide for. But you don't mind it, though, because you ain't really gotta provide much because they come from nothing. So you can skate by giving them crumbs and shit, but they gonna be obedient because they need you. Come on, yo. That shit crazy. It ain't on this same level. But y'all damn near like slave owners and shit. Like, ooh, that's a nice one, right? Let me get that one right there.
Yo, I want to tell you something, bro. This is a little more of a passionate subject because it triggered me with one of my fellow TikTok friends was talking about passport bros from a feminine perspective. And I've been on a passport bros trip. I'm not a passport bro at all. Like, passport bros make me laugh, if I'm being honest with you. Because you got these men that are flexing about these beautiful women that they can't obtain in America, and they're going across the sea to get these women that are used to making $300 and $400 a month, and you're paying them money to be wives, bro. You know what I'm saying? And here's the one thing I have a problem with the passport bros. They said there ain't no wives in America. How many women have you actually helped flow in their feminine? Do you even know how? It is an acquired skill that I have learned, and I can teach it. Probably will. You feel me? And it's like you men talking about you want wives and don't even know the definition of one. You think, a lot of you men think a wife is some pretty girl that comes, cooks, cleans, and serves you and don't challenge you, and you just ride off in the sunset, and she suffers in silence because, let's just be honest, most men can't even satisfy their woman intellectually, mentally, spiritually, and especially physically, because you haven't done the work. You know what I'm saying? You haven't done the work to prepare yourself to be a man, to be a king. So you want to go outside the country because you skipped the steps as a man to level yourself up to be a real leader in your house. So you want to go somewhere where somebody's used to making $400 a month and take your little 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grand a month that you make and throw her $1,000, and now she your wife, and now you flexing on your homeboys because you don't have access to those type. I have access to beautiful women no matter where I go. It don't matter if I go to Belize, Africa, Dallas, Houston. You know what I'm saying? Some men just got it like that. And a lot of things, what I see is a lot of these men that be leaving and going outside the country, they don't have access to beautiful women, and they don't know how to treat women. So you got to go somewhere else where it's a whole nother culture and then say, I found me a wife. You know what I'm saying? But none of you men know how to help these women flow on their feminine. You haven't learned the skill. You know what I'm talking about? So it makes me laugh when y'all be like, these women in America ain't white. It's a lot of good women in America, bro. It's a lot of good women. Black women, white women, Asian women, green women. You know what I'm talking about? It's a lot of good women out here, bro. And y'all be making excuses because you really want to go get your rocks off with a chick that you ain't never had access to in America. And you go over there to Colombia and $1 is $1,000. And now you feel like you want some shit, but it's really a fantasy, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've done the trip before, but I'm a man that has access to women no matter where I go, so it's not a big deal to me. It'd be a big deal to men that don't get beautiful women, bro. It'd be a big deal to men that can't have access to the pretty girl, and all y'all just see is a beautiful face. Y'all don't care about the heart. Y'all don't care about the intent. Y'all don't pray for them. Y'all don't cover them. Y'all probably ain't even smashing right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just funny to me how you got all these men in this passport bro community talking about, I'm leaving the country to find me. And I'm like, bro, you can't even keep it. You can't even make it work with the women you got now. You know what I'm talking about? And if the women is really with you overseas, it's because your bag right, bro. That's it. That's the post.
All right, y'all, so to recap, we have a 26-year-old gentleman who presents to your ER after noticing that he developed a very strange rash. A few months ago, he states that he was overseas slanging schlong, having multiple sexual encounters with various women. Since this trip, he developed a painless lesion on his lip as well as his genitalia that went away on its own, and also developed a rash on the palms of his hands and the soles of his feet. Although there are several diagnoses to be considered, one diagnosis that I would be concerned about is syphilis. Syphilis is an infection that generally occurs in stages. The first stage, or primary syphilis, presents as a papule wherever the microorganism is introduced. This can occur by means of contact of almost any tissue with infected secretions, including oral sex, as well as kissing or touching a person who has active lesions on the lips, the oral mucosa, breast, or genitals. The lesion is usually painless, eventually ulcerating, forming what we call a chancre, which resolves on its own in about 3 to 6 weeks. Secondary syphilis occurs within weeks to months of the chancre, resulting in a rash that classically involves the torso, arms, and legs, but most importantly, the dead giveaway is involvement of the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Now, tertiary syphilis usually occurs 10 or more years later, where you may have symptoms reminiscent of dementia, neurological changes, as well as diseases of the heart. Now, there are several screening tests available, including an RPR or a VDRL, as well as confirmatory tests. Let's not get too technical. With regards to treatment, you're typically looking at antibiotics, more specifically penicillin, benzathine G.
So apparently there are men out there called passport bros, and I've been seeing like information and videos circulating on my page about how they're going overseas, they're partying, sleeping with these women, and not, getting tested. And all I can say is that is the most dangerous game you can play. Because imagine how many different women, men, because we don't know their sexual orientation, who they like and everything like that. We don't know what these people do in private. But just imagine you run into a passport bro and he done been overseas. He done slept with like 20 different people on his overseas trip, came back home, slept with 20 more people, and then ran back out overseas and decided to sleep with more people, possibly pass around with the bros, because that's something that they do. Let's be real. Passport bros. That is wild. Guys, HIV and STDs are a real thing. They are killing people at an unnatural rate. And unless you want to fall victim to having to take medication or having to get a shot in your butt to clear up an infection, or anything like that, even risk long-term damage to your cervix or your, just anything. You never know. And with them discovering new types of STDs that are not responding to certain strains of medication that they are used to, you guys need to do better. There's no way that we have a generation of older men called passport bros laying the example for the men that are coming up right now. They're watching this and like, yeah, I want to be just like him when I grow up. That is disgusting. Teach them some manners, some morals. If you have kids, you should know, you should feel how I feel. Like this is the example that we have for the kids. My 11-year-old son, my 8-year-old daughter. These are examples. And that's why it's so hard to raise a child right now, because you have to shield them from all this nonsense that's going on in the world, and not necessarily shield them, but correct them and let them know, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. This is not right. This is wrong. But it's hard. It's very hard when we have adults living reckless lives in front of the whole world to see, and everybody is praising it. Everybody's like, oh yeah, let the men travel. Let them do what they want to do. Why? So they can come back and give it to your daughter? They can come back and give it to your granddaughter, your nephew, your cousin, your sister, and then you have to sit here and comfort them? Passport bros.
Now, I don't know a lot about the quote unquote passport bros, but I've heard a lot about passport bros. Very interesting that men from here go overseas to find quote unquote the perfect wife. That's what they say. I knew it was kind of strange that I never see any videos of any men that have gone overseas and found them a wife and brought them back home and had a family with them and all this stuff that they say they go over there to get. Now I have found out why. I have been seeing this for a while. Y'all ought to go look at some of these interviews. Allegedly, they are saying that when the men go overseas to find these quote unquote women that are so quote unquote wifey material, it's not about that. They're just going over there to sleep with these women for little or nothing. Yeah, just going over there to sleep with a lot of different women. And guess in the meantime, guess what they're bringing home back over here? The HIV. Yeah, yeah. So ladies, if you are fooling with men that are going overseas on these passport bro trips, you better get them checked before you lay up with them. I promise you, this is sad. I really was on the side of the men thinking that they were actually going over there to find a wife, because they say, we don't listen. We're not feminine. We're too, what's the word, y'all? What's the word? I just used it. We're too, what's the word, y'all? Too masculine. That's what it is. So they're going over there looking for feminine women that follow directions and listen to what they say, do what they want them to do. And when you say jump, I say hi hi. Their manners are better. They look better. They're more attractive. They're not overweight like us. But in the meantime, no man has ever came on this app happily married to a woman that he met over there. I should have known something was up. So you just going over there to sleep with women, many as you can, laugh about it with your little passport bros, and come back over here with your little nasty disease and spread it all over everywhere. You know what's going to happen? Y'all going to have to repent for all this stuff. Come on back home, bring it on back down, and do what you're supposed to do as a man. Learn how to protect and provide the women that are here. Treat these women with respect and decency. You wouldn't have to go way over there, because you ain't going over there to do nothing but sleep with folk. You going way over there to sleep with somebody when you could stay here, be a good man, find you a wife, build a family, and have something.
So I just seen that there have been reported that there's over, I think, 80,000 new cases of people contracting HIV in the Dominican Republic. That's alarming and that's scary, and that lets you know there's a lot of men out here that don't care, and they will risk it all over some butt cheeks. And listen, bro, there's real live pimps out there, bro. Pimps, bro. I'm telling you, bro, this is another world, bro. Like, they selling booty like fruit out there, bro. It's so accessible, bro. And that is not good. Anything that easily accessible is horrible, dog. Like, the guy that I met in the bar, he had like 5 women with him. They were all beautiful women, but I already knew what was going on. And they were looking at me, and he gonna walk up to me, you like what you see? I'm like, what's up, bro? These your women? He like, yeah. He's like, you want something? I said, nah. He's like, all right, bet. And he was a Haitian dude. He was telling me like that's what he does. Like he has a stable of women. I'm like, all right, good for you. But it was too much for me. You could call me a square, but that was too much for me. It was too much ass on sale for me. It was everything was on clearance, and I didn't have it in me, bro. I was like, nah, I'm good on this. Don't get me wrong, DR is a fun place, beautiful place, but as far as that world, I'm good on it, bro. And the women are so aggressive. I was in the bar trying to get a shot. This woman just straddling me. I say, damn, wait, give me a second. Let me drink the shot. Damn. I done bought the shot. You straddling me. I can't even drink the shot. Relax. Relax. Like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different world, man. But like I said, y'all should be ashamed of yourself going out there bringing back diseases, man. It ain't that deep, bro. Now, I'm going to tell you, I believe it. Because when I went to the DR, I was amazed at how easily accessible women were. And these are not women that are ugly. These are women that look like J-Lo. These are women that look like Selena. And these women will give it to you for much of nothing. Now, you got to understand, right? Let's take, for example, a guy that's living in Houston. He's struggling to get attention from women or whatever. He go out there. I mean, he can get whatever he wants. And they're going to treat him like a king and make him feel like he's the best looking dude on earth. When I would go places, you would have women following you. You would have women just grabbing you. You have women coming up to you. And for me, I didn't really like that because that let me know, okay, you getting ran through. Now, I'm not saying I'm an ugly guy or anything, but I'm not stupid. Women that look like that, they not just walking up to men like that, bro. They just not doing that. And these women were moving like that. I'm talking about they was thirsty. You know what I'm saying? There was one point I remember I was in the bar and this lady with a BBL started dancing on me. And I'm talking about she was aggressive. She throwing me back on the table. I have to try to get my footing right so I could bear the dance. She knocking my drink falling out. I'm like, all right, relax. And they talking about you wanna, because I couldn't understand what she was saying, so I used to translate her, and she basically was like, asking me, did I want to have sex? And I was just like, no. And the crazy thing is, she wasn't ugly, but for me, I don't like that. That means you got hella miles on you. And you got to understand, a lot of these guys don't care. They go out there and they just having sex with all these different women, and then they're coming back to the States bringing diseases back. And there's 2 types of men. There's men with morals and there's men that don't have any morals. I have morals. And yeah, I have fun and all that, but I did not sleep with no one out there just because of the simple fact I did not like how thirsty these women were. And I knew that they knew that I wasn't from out there and I had that American money. So for them, it's like, oh, this is a come up right here. Because I believe like $1 of ours is like equal to what, 50 of theirs or something like that. So these women ain't dumb. They know what it is. They know what it is. So I didn't let them gas me up. I just had fun, dance with them. Yeah, so for me, I'm just not into that type of stuff. And I remember going to the strip club out there, and I'm talking about, yo, it's literally a whorehouse there, bro. Like, there's men just going in and out the back. And I'm just like, yo, these women are easily having sex with about 6 to 7 dudes a day, bro. Just in that night, I seen one girl take about 3 different dudes to the back, bro. And I already know what they're doing in the back because one of the ladies asked me, did I want to go back there and do some of that nasty stuff? And I was like, no, just dance on me. Just dance. Leave me alone. I don't want to do nothing with you besides dance. And even the dance was uncomfortable because I just, for some reason, kept thinking about how many dudes they done been with. That's just me. I look past all that physicality. I'm like, all right, something wrong here. you know, but that's what I'm saying. I can see why a lot of men go out there and contract stuff, because they're so intrigued by the beauty of these women, and they think, oh my God, these women like me. These women don't like you, bro. They just need money, and they know that American men are thirsty, and we are an easy lick for them. That's all it is, bro. Y'all crazy going out there cheating on your wives and girlfriends, bringing back all these diseases. It's just like, really, bro? And like the passport bros, yeah, keep passport. Keep thinking that you're getting a better deal out there, all right? Keep thinking that. But at the end of the day, be careful when you go out there. Be careful. If you are going to do those type of things, strap up, man, because these women are, they're getting ran through, bro. Ran through. For real. But yeah, man, it's not a good look.
What they doing is they trying to rebrand, because when they rebrand or when they stop talking about it and they gonna find them a black woman, then they're gonna pass it to them. So y'all be careful out there, because yeah, they mad now, so they gonna try to pass it on to the next person, and the next person gonna be the person that they hate the most.
If y'all not look, I've been convinced that men love fucking themselves. They love it. The passport bros coming back with HIV. That's not funny. That's not funny. But that's the life they manifested. So you know they don't like us. They jealous and envious of women. Okay. Okay. And they not gonna tell you if they was part of the passport bro movement. They just gonna try to hem you up with that HIV. I'm telling you, leave these mugs alone until they get some healing. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Y'all talking about y'all want to see people my chart. No, ladies, black women specifically, y'all need to be asking them, can you see their passport? If they got any stamps to Colombia, Philippines, any of those countries where HIV running rampant, run the fuck away from them.
1,000 people contracted HIV in the Dominican Republic in 2024. Passport Bros, I know that's been one of your favorite destinations to go to, man. I know y'all been in Colombia, we ain't got those numbers in yet. But I know y'all been going to DR, man, ever since y'all find out you get it for the 40. You know what I'm saying? We don't.
Well, first, shout out to this creator for even bringing this topic up. I know this is like a hot button topic, and people want to talk about the passport bros and like, what are they going over there doing? Why are they going to Colombia and DR, which seems to be like the most popular spots? Why does my boyfriend or husband want to go over there? Not saying that they're going over to do anything shady. You know, it could just be a boys trip. But I'm just saying, let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Bree. I'm the sexology nurse. I am a certified sexologist, and I specialize in sexual health and wellness education. All right, so let's get into it. First, I want to make a slight correction to his video. He stated that 84,000 people contracted HIV in the year 2024. In actuality, 84,000 people are currently living with HIV in the Dominican Republic, and that was according to 2023 statistics. Same year, they had 4,000 new cases. And then he spoke about Colombia. Colombia has 230,000 people living with HIV, and that's with 13,000 new cases, according to 2023 statistics. And so I am a sexologist. I live in USA, currently in Atlanta, Georgia. And currently, Atlanta is one of the highest ranking cities for HIV and STI rates. I'll put it into perspective and context. USA has 1.2 million people living with HIV, and that's with 32,000 new cases according to reports from 2022. And then we're just going to go right into Atlanta. Atlanta has 43,000 people living with HIV, and that's with 1,500 new cases according to 2022 statistics. So am I saying the passport bros are going over there and contracting HIV? Possibly. Yes, they could. But the problem is really in our back door. The problem is within the United States. Our rates are pretty astronomical here, and that is something that we need to start paying attention to. It doesn't matter what your relationship status is. It doesn't matter if you're single. It doesn't matter if you're in a sexual situationship. It doesn't matter if you're in a monogamous relationship. It doesn't matter if you're newly married or married for 20 years. You need to get tested regularly and regularly and regularly. There needs to be a routine. You don't need to have blind trust in anyone. You are the biggest advocate for yourself, the biggest advocate for your health, and the biggest advocate for your wellness, your overall wellness. So we can't just put our complete trust in any human being. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say and put some fear into you, and you've been married for 15 years and you know, Big Charlie would never, I get it. But just for a peace of mind for yourself, get tested. It doesn't hurt anything, right? You know, if you're going to the doctor, you're getting your pap smear or you're getting your annual checkup, you can throw in an HIV test. No big deal. This way you are establishing a baseline every time you go, a new baseline. So if anything deviates from that, you know at least where a new starting point is to start honing in on, right? So many free HIV testing places all around the country. You can go on a lunch break. You can go whenever you feel like it. If you're going to a festival or event and they're having free HIV testing, that's something you can do real quick. So there's empowerment in knowing your status, you know? And if you think about it, some of these men are actually going over to these countries already with HIV and they're paying for sex. And then they're paying for maybe the elevated experience of having unprotected sex. So think about it. If you think about the psychology behind the whole idea, they're going to another country that they don't live in, don't know people at, and they're engaging in this practice. So think about it. If they were to pass on HIV, they're already gone. They're back in their country. There's no moral obligation per se to disclose your status when you're going over there and paying for sex. There's no legal ramifications if you're giving fake names and they don't even know how to locate you or find you. So these men are going over there doing their dirt and coming back home. So yes, it's a possibility that these men are contracting it from these countries and bringing it back here. But there's also the possibility of them going there and giving it to them. So we have a lot of things to think about. So be safe.